Okay, how we doing out there? First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. I'm the creator of Illumina's 4K screen paint using ambient light rejection, technology gain, times 4, 5, and 7. Now, when it comes to our technology, our screen paint, we do demonstrations that other people won't do. We take screens outside and we run on 1100 lumen projectors. We test them against high performance projection screen as a Net Elite screen, Dark Star 9. We do demonstrations with the lights on. We use low lumen projectors. We do things to show you that, hey, there's a difference between our technology. And one of the things we like to do, and I'm going to be doing that demonstration also today, I'm going to be coating one side of the screen with our new Supreme 7, and the other side is just going to be painted with everyday flat black paint. And we showed you that demonstration before that our screen pulls up higher white levels than everyday black paint or a black material. Some people think, okay, I can go out and just paint the screen just black. But I'm going to show you the myth about screen paints. Now, as I said before, screen paints, there's nothing different about them, not the ones I've seen. If you put them in a well-lit environment, they will fade and wash out. The only way they can actually produce an image, it has to be in a dark environment or poorly lit environment, and these things definitely don't show up outside at all, period. So it shows there's no gain to it, there's nothing whatsoever. It's just basically black and white paint. Now keep in mind, I'll put a link at the bottom if you don't believe me. One of the video demonstrations by the person who made this particular screen paint right here shows you how to make it. It's just black and white paint, that's all it is. Now we're going to make this today. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make. And keep in mind, like I said, I had a customer here that was trying to order this particular paint, not this paint, was trying to order the paint, and his order just kept getting denied over and over and over again. He had already paid $97 altogether plus shipping, and his order was refused over and over again, telling it was out of stock. He just didn't have it. Order was canceled. This is all the paperwork, and it was forwarded to us over and over and over again from this customer who just could not get this paint because, you know, it was going to be shipped over here, and the person just didn't want it over here to begin with. All right, so we're going to show you why. Now you can make this yourself. Now in the video it tells you that you have to take 2 teaspoons of black and you put it in some white, and that's how you make it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to pour this in here like so. All right. Now keep in mind, this is just everyday white paint. That's it. Someone may say, oh, it doesn't match the same in the video. It doesn't make a difference. White paint is white paint. If it's satin, if it's gloss, then it's different. But other than that, if it's flat white paint, it's going to be flat white paint. Whether it be bare, whatever it may be, that's what it's going to be. Now, we'll pour half of this in here because I got another demonstration to do too. We're going to be making the personal mix also. So pretty much all it is just a teaspoon of black. And then in the video, another teaspoon of black. Alright, and pretty much all you got to do is mix it to see exactly how dark it's going to become. It's just different levels of dark. And this is glitter that I picked up at a freaking art store. So we'll throw some glitter in there. Like so. Because it has a bit of a metallica kind of look to it. And then we'll take this. I'm going to get my lid and shake this up. Make sure we get the top on. I don't want paint spraying all over the shop. All right, now we already got it painted. This is the Metallica mix right here. We already got it painted on one side of this strip right here. So I'm gonna take this. It's gonna look white on the outside. It always does. Shake it up. Hold on for a minute. Camera down for a minute. The more we add to it, the darker it's going to get. So we're just going to put a little bit more black paint in there. There we go. I just put a little bit more in there, alright, to get it to darken up. And we'll just shake this up a little bit. And all my paint on this mess. But anyway, so I'm going to shake it up a little more. Sorry about that. I'm going to grab my camera here. Like I said, the more paint you put into it, the darker it gets. Alright. So that's the paint we made. There's the paint right there. Alright. Shake a little more. So it just has a lot of black in it to get that dark to come up. Alright, so I'm going to put this down just for a minute. So all it just has is a lot of black in it. So the more black you put into it, the darker it's going to get. So it's a much darker screen paint mix. And it should react the same way. Sorry if I keep putting the can down. It's because I'm pouring black paint into it. And I'm just shaking it up just a little bit more. Alright. Now we should have it. You just keep adding paint until you actually hit the tone. Alright, so over here, that's the paint we made. Right there, pour some of that right there. Should have stirred it up a little better. And it doesn't make a difference, it stirred pretty good. But there's the paint we made right there. So there's my paint right there I made. And then there's the crow's mix right here. Same thing. Now we're going to come over here. And I'm going to grab my roller. Like I said, it's just gray paint. That's all it is. Pretty much just dark gray paint. I'll grab something over here I can use to paint this up. It's going to react the same way. And we'll put it there. I'm going to put too much, but it's enough. Get that evenly on my roller. So one side of this is crows. Going to paint the other side with our mix that we just made. Would I use this? No. I wouldn't use this because I already know the outcome of what this stuff is going to look like. I already know. So basically you just add a lot of black paint into some white paint, and that's pretty much how you get it. And you put a little glitter in there, which I just did, and that's it. So on this side, this is our paint we just made, and that's crow's paint right over there. Now I'll come over here and take my projector. Keep in mind my screen is wet. And we'll start a demonstration. Like I said, it's black and white paint. That's all it is, with a little glitter in it. The minute I opened up the can when I first saw this stuff, I said, you know what? I can make this with no problem whatsoever. Now, see, here's the thing. In order for someone to mimic our technology, they would have to do all the same demonstrations we did. They would have to take that screen paint outside. They would have to do that demonstration on a 1100 lumen projector, match it against high performance screens, and then on top of that, like I said, we take a light gray screen, I can throw it against my screen, it'll blend right in with no problem. Now I'll take the same paint that we just made, this is our own paint we just made. Like I said, it's a cheap mix. And I'll put that against our own screen and you'll watch it fail. I'll take it outside and you watch it fail. That's why we don't make it this way. This is why we had just science behind what we do. Now if I come over here and I put in, well, there's no point putting in a star field because the bottom line is I don't have a black screen behind it. If I had a black screen behind it, you would see the difference. So as you can see, this is the screen paint I made using black and gray, just a dark, more black into the white, and just some glitter, some everyday glitter over at a store that I picked over at an art store. And you're looking at them side by side. Now that's supposed to be the Metallica mix right there. I made that by just using white paint and black paint. And keep in mind, for those of you who want to get upset about this, I'll put a link at the bottom because he shows you how to make it. He shows you in a video how to make the paint. So all it is basically there's nothing different between any of the screen paints he develops. All it is just black and white paint. The more paint you put in, the more black you put in, the darker the screen gets. The less you put in, the lighter it gets in. Put a little glitter in it, it reacts the same way. I can make this a gallon for $23, maybe $30. I can make a gallon of it easily. Now I guarantee if I take this cheap paint that I make, 'cause I'm gonna put my own label on it so you can tell who's who. If I take this cheap paint and I put it under any of the tests that we do in here every single day, it would fail miserably. The reason why the screen looks good, because you're seeing it, because our technology is not sitting behind it. If I put a black screen behind this screen, it would basically take it apart. And we're going to show that demonstration, but I'm showing you how fast I can make this product. I've been in this business for a long time. Trust me when I tell you, I have designed and created everything you could possibly think of. Just close about to it. I can look at something, I can tell how it's made just by looking at it. How it's constructed, how it's designed. Just by looking at it. Now once this dries, like I said, you already can see it already from the door, it's blending right in with no problem. Ouch. Now what they do, they take the lights out, put it in a dark environment and say, voila, look, looks fantastic. Look at the color, look at the detail. I'm using this on a 4200 lumen projector, an Epson 4200 lumen projector. So what's the difference? Tell me what's the difference. Look at the screens, tell me what's the difference. Just to show you, that's why when we put out challenges asking people to do demonstrations outside on 1100 lumen projectors or to do any of the demonstrations we do, this is why they shy away from it. Because they know that this paint is not going to do well outside. It's going to wash away. Now if I stick this behind a high performance screen, it's going to wash out. Come over here real quick. I'll leave that light off. Let me go grab, let me see if I can find one. There we go. Put my switches over here. See, it looks exactly the same. It's gray. It's exactly the same. They're both gray. But you look, see how amazing when it comes to black levels, when it comes to an Elite Darkstar 9, there's a difference in the technology. A Darkstar 9 can pull up true contrast. If I take that Darkstar 9 and I stick it against the screen paint I just made, it's going to pull up great contrast. These screens cannot produce contrast. You just can't do it. See if I can find my frog tape. I'm gonna set this down just for a minute. Just for a minute. I'll find a bit of frog tape here. Now you see it? That right there is flat black paint. Let's go back a little different so you can see. Star field. See it now? You can't pick up contrast. Even if the screen is a dark gray. Now when I took it off, you thought you were seeing black contrast. You're not seeing black contrast. You're seeing an ashy contrast. That's what you're seeing. It's not real black. Now if I take flat black paint and I put it up there, now you can see it. If I take flat black paint and I stick it against our technology and I basically put it on a snow demonstration or white skin tones, we pull up higher white levels than everyday black paint. But if you turn around and, like I said, and you make a gray screen paint mix, it can't pull up black contrast. I don't care how dark or how gray you make it. If it's not too black, you can't pull up contrast. It's just not going to happen. But if I were to pull this away, this is why we do the demonstration when we show you our black screens laying against our black screens, or black paint laying against our screens, and we show you a demonstration that says, hey look, this is the difference between our black technology and everyday flat black paint, or basically a black material, and we put on those skin tones, we put on those snow demonstrations, and you will look at it and go, hey look, you know, you can see a difference between it because our screens pull up higher white levels. That is the difference between our technology and black paint. Now if I take everyday flat black paint and I stick it against one of these screens, these gray screens, you see an improvement. This is the screen paint we made right here. This is our screen paint we made right here. And that's Crow's Mix. Can't tell which one is which. People thought I was joking when I sat there and said you can make it yourself. Now keep in mind, if you're going to make our technology, you would have to do every test that we put our screens under. If I wanted to make this cheap screen paint, and keep in mind, in most of these demonstrations, they're done in dark environments. They're always shined away from the light, and they always use high-powered projectors. Now, any screen that sits in a dark environment is easy to mimic the technology because there's no real hard test behind it. Now, if someone's out there showing screens, like I said, they're doing demonstrations at 12 feet away on an 1100 lumen projector outside in the morning hours, that's a screen with an extremely powerful gain. If they're doing demonstrations on low entry-level projectors, they're doing demonstrations against tests on high-performance projection screens, they're showing the difference between, hey look, this is a $3,000 screen and this is my technology. It shows the worth of that technology. But everyday demonstrations are being done in ambient light controlled environments with a high-power projector. There's no difference in it. Heck, if everyday house paint with a little glitter in it was exactly anything, if it was actually that good, then guess what? Big companies would not be in business. You can just go out and just buy everyday gray paint, throw a little glitter and do the same thing. We'll put into an ambient light controlled environment. That's what we'll do. We're sticking an ambient light controlled environment. This is the environment I'm used to seeing these screens in. Now, like I said, anybody want to argue and say, no, you're wrong, it's different, try it yourself. Try it yourself. There's no difference in it. That's why I said there's no real demonstration supporting what makes that screen paint different from anything else on the market that you can make yourself. If that screen was outside producing images and looks like a plasma TV, then there's a difference between that and everyday house paint. If it was matching high performance projection screens or outperforming them, then there's a difference. If you can use it on low entry level projectors, there's a difference. And I mean low entry levels at a distance, not sitting close up on top of the screen, not having very little light inside the environment, not having the corners dark, not having little light bulbs peppered out through the environment. I'm talking about real ambient light. Now, a Supreme 7 can sit outside in the morning hours, evening hours, and produce images. How many screen paints you seen do that? Told you I can mimic the technology easily. And for those of you who sit there and say, well, how come you're charging all this money for this paint and you just could be making it this way? Because this paint is garbage. Now, I'm going to paint a screen using the screen paint that I made here, and I'm going to run it, I'm going to test it against my own technology, my own black technology. And you'll watch it fail miserably. It'll do the exact same thing as the screen paint here, as Crow. The exact same thing. It'll do the exact same thing. It'll mimic. I'm going to use this sample sheet right here. It's going to do the exact same thing when I put it against our black technology. Our screen will be able to blend in with it with no problem. And when I put on a contrast demonstration against that black technology, boom, you're going to see the difference. You're going to see everything you're missing. You're going to see the screen fade. You're going to see contrast just disappear just like that. And when I stick this thing outside on 1100 lumens, it's not even going to exist. And I'll do it on 4200 lumens outside. I'll give it a fighting chance. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. Thank you all for your time. I'm Kenneth Bird from Illuminous 4K Screen Paint using ambient light projection. Using ambient light projection technology gain times 4, 5, and 7. Thank you for your time and God bless.